Parsha 26, Shimini, is going to be Vayikra 9:1 to 11:47, or we might know it as Leviticus. On the 8th day, Moshe called Aaron, his sons, and the leaders of Israel, and said to Aaron, "Take a male calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, both without defect, and offer them before Adonai. Then tell the people of Israel, take a male goat for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old, and without defect, for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for a peace offering, to sacrifice before Adonai, also a grain offering mixed with olive oil, because today Adonai is going to appear to you." They brought what Moshe had ordered before the tent of the meeting, and the whole community approached and stood before Adonai. Moshe said, "This is what Adonai has ordered you to do, so that the glory of Adonai will appear to you." Moshe told Aaron, "Approach the altar, offer your sin offering and burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and the people. Then present the offering of the people and make atonement for them as Adonai ordered." So Aaron approached the altar and slaughtered the calf of sin offering, which was for himself. The sons of Aaron presented the blood to him, and he dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar. Then he poured out the blood at the base of the altar, but the fat, the kidneys, and the covering of the liver of his sin offering he made to go up in smoke on the altar, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. The meat and the skin were burned up completely outside the camp. Next he slaughtered the burnt offering. Aaron's sons brought him the blood, and he splashed it against all the sides of the altar. They brought him the burnt offering piece by piece, and the head, and he made them go up in smoke on the altar. He washed the inner organs and the lower part of the legs, and made them go up in smoke on top of the burnt offering on the altar. Then the people's offering was presented. He took the goat of the sin offering, which was for the people, slaughtered it, and offered it for sin. Like the earlier sin offering, the burnt offering was presented, and he offered it in the prescribed manner. The grain offering was presented. He took a handful of it and made it go up in the smoke on the altar, in addition to the morning's burnt offering. He slaughtered the ox and the ram and the people's sacrifice as the peace offering. Aaron's son brought him the blood which he had splashed against all the sides of the altar, and the fat of the ox and of the ram, the fat tail, the fat which covers the inner organs, the kidneys, and the covering of the liver. They put the fat on the breast, and he made the fat go up in smoke on the altar. The breast and the right thigh Aaron waved as a wave offering before Adonai, as Moshe had ordered. Aaron raised his hand toward the people, blessed them, and came down from the offering, the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the peace offerings. Moshe and Aaron entered the tent of meeting, came out, and blessed the people. Then the glory of Adonai appeared to all the people. Fire came forth from the presence of Adonai, consuming the burnt offering and the fat on the altar. When all the people saw it, they shouted and fell on their faces. But Nadav and Abihu, sons of Aaron, each took his censer, put fire in it, laid incense on it, and offered unauthorized fire before Adonai, something he had not ordered them to do. At this, fire came forth from the presence of Adonai and consumed them, so that they died in the presence of Adonai. Moshe said to Aaron, "This is what Adonai said, though all those people are near me, I will be consecrated, and before all people I will be glorified." Aaron kept silent. Moshe called Mishael and Eleazar, sons of Uzziel, Aaron's uncle, and told them, "Come here and carry your cousins away from the front of the sanctuary to the place outside the camp." They approached and carried them in their tunics out of the camp, as Moshe had said. Then Moshe told Aaron and his sons, Eleazar and Itmar, "Don't unbind your hair or tear your clothes in mourning, so that you won't die, and so that Adonai won't be angry with the entire community. Rather let your kinsmen, the whole house of Israel, mourn because of the destruction Adonai brought about with his fire. Moreover, don't leave the entrance of the tent of meeting, or you will die, because Adonai's anointing oil is on you." Adonai said to Aaron, "Don't drink any wine or any other intoxicating liquor, neither you nor your sons with you, when you enter the tent of meeting, so that you will not die. This is to be a permanent regulation throughout all your generations, so that you will distinguish between the holy and the common, between the unclean and the clean, and so that you will teach the people of Israel all the laws Adonai has told them through Moshe." Moshe said to Aaron and to Eleazar and Itmar, his remaining sons, "Take the grain offering left from the offering for Adonai made by fire, and eat it without leaven next to the altar, because it is especially holy. Eat it in a holy place, because it is your and your sons' share of the offerings for Adonai made by fire, for this is what I have been ordered." The breast that was waved and the thigh that was raised you are to eat in a clean place, you, your sons, and your daughters with you. For these are given as your and your children's share of the sacrifices of the peace offering presented by the people of Israel. They are to bring the raised thigh and the waved breast, along with the offerings of fat made by fire. Wave it as a wave offering before Adonai. Then it will belong to you and your descendants with you as your perpetual share, as Adonai has ordered. Then Moshe carefully investigated what had happened to the goat of the sin offering and discovered that it had been burned up. He became angry with Eleazar and Itmar, the remaining sons of Aaron, and asked, "Why didn't you eat the sin offering in the area of the sanctuary, since it is especially holy? He gave it to you to take away the guilt of the community, to make atonement for them before Adonai. Look, its blood wasn't brought into the sanctuary. You should have eaten it there in the sanctuary, as I ordered." Aaron answered Moshe, "Even though they offered their sin offering and burnt offering today, things like these have happened to me. If I had eaten the sin offering today, would it have pleased Adonai?" On hearing this reply, Moshe was satisfied. Adonai said to Moshe and Aaron, "Tell the people of Israel, these are the living creatures which you may eat among all the land animals. Any that has a separated hoof, which is completely divided and chews the cud, these animals you may eat. But you are not to eat those that only chew the cud, or only have a separated hoof. For example, the camel, the coney, and the hare are unclean to you, because they chew the cud, but don't have a separated hoof. Well, the pig is unclean for you, because although it has a separate and completely divided hoof, it doesn't chew the cud. You are not to eat meat from these or touch their carcasses. They are unclean for you. Of all the things that live in the water, you may eat these. Anything in the water that has fins and scales, whether in the sea or in the rivers, these you may eat. But everything in the seas and rivers without both fins and scales, all of the small water creatures and all the living creatures in the water, is a detestable thing for you. Yes, these will be detestable for you. You are not to eat their meat, and you are not to detest their carcasses. Whatever lacks fins and scales in the water is a detestable thing for you. The following creatures of the air are to be detestable for you. They are not to be eaten. They are to be a detestable thing: the eagle, the vulture, the osprey, the kite, the various kinds of buzzards, the various kinds of ravens, the ostrich and the screech owl, the seagull, and various kinds of hawks, the little owl, the cormorant, the great owl, the horned owl, the pelican, the barn owl, the stork, and the various kinds of herons, the hoopie, and the bat. All winged swarming creatures that go on all fours are a detestable thing for you. Except of all the winged swarming creatures that go on all fours, you may eat those that have joined legs above their feet, enabling them to jump off the ground. Specifically, of these you may eat the various kinds of locusts, grasshoppers, katydids, and crickets. But other than that, all winged swarming creatures have 4 feet are a detestable thing for you. The following will make you unclean. Whoever touches the carcass of anything will be unclean until evening, and whoever picks up any part of the carcass is to wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. Every animal that has a separate but incomplete divided hoof, or doesn't chew the cud, is unclean for you. Anyone who touches them will become unclean. Whoever goes in its paws among all the animals that will go on all fours is unclean. Whatever goes on its paws among all the animals that will go on all fours is unclean for you. Whoever touches its carcass will be unclean until evening. And whoever picks up a carcass is to wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. These are unclean for you. The following are unclean for you among the small creatures that swarm on the ground: the weasel, the mouse, the various kinds of lizards, the gecko, the land crocodile, the skink, the sand lizard, and the chameleon. They are unclean crawling creatures. Whoever touches them when they are dead will be unclean until evening. Anything on which one of them falls when dead will become unclean: wooden utensils, articles of clothing, leather, sacking, any utensil to use for work. It must be put in water, and it will be unclean until evening, and then it will be clean. If any one of them falls into a clay pot, wherever it is, and will become unclean, you are to break the pot. Any food permitted to be eaten that water from such a vessel gets on will become unclean, and any permitted liquid in such a vessel will become unclean. Anything on which any carcass part of theirs falls will become unclean. Whether oven or stove, it is to be broken in pieces. They are unclean and will be unclean for you. Although a spring or cistern for collecting water remains unclean, but anyone who touches one of the carcasses will become unclean. If any carcass parts of theirs falls on any kind of seed to be sown, it is clean. But if the water is put on the seed and the carcass part of theirs falls on it, it is unclean for you. If an animal of a kind that you are permitted to eat dies, whoever touches its carcass will be unclean until evening. A person who eats meat from its carcass or carries its carcass is to wash his clothes. He will be unclean until evening. Any creature that swarms on the ground is a detestable thing. It is not to be eaten. Whatever moves on its stomach, goes on its fours, has many legs. All creatures that swarm on the ground, you are not to eat them, because they are a detestable thing. You are not to make yourselves detestable with any of these swarming creatures that move along the ground. For I am Adonai, who brought you out of the holy land of Egypt to be your God. Therefore you are to be holy, because I am holy. Such then is the law concerning animals, flying creatures, all living creatures that move in the water, and all the creatures that swarm on the ground. Its purpose is to distinguish between the unclean and the clean, and between the creatures that may be eaten and those that may not.